Well, greetings, everyone. Greetings, greetings. I pray that everyone is having a phenomenal day. Hey, I'm Dr. Melvin Futrell here with the Winners Way broadcast. I'm just excited about another opportunity to come before you and just share a word that I believe will encourage you, that I believe will build you up and just push you towards your destiny. Well, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice in it. I just want to take a moment before we get started and just ask you to share the broadcast, share it with your friends, share it with your loved ones. People need to be encouraged. And I believe that during this forum, I'm going to empower, encourage, and enlighten you to go to the next level. And so you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Well, listen, I'm going to jump right on today. I'm going to jump right on into the message. And I just want to talk with you guys for a few moments out of my heart, really. If I had a thought, I was thinking about, I guess my title would be, It's Temporary. Come on, say that with me. Say it's temporary. And I'm talking about, I believe that we're in a season where many of you are facing setbacks. You're facing roadblocks. You're facing, like a bump in the road, which is a setback. And I just come to tell you today that it's temporary, that this too shall pass. And so be encouraged because it's temporary. So it's like you're just at a red light right now, and the light is going to change in a few if you hold on. So again, I want to say that it's temporary, it's going to pass. And so I want to say this to you: don't write Ichabod on your life. Don't write Ichabod on your story. Don't give up on your dream, because this too shall pass. I thought about one of the most devastating times in my life, and I love to tell this story. It's a story about, we had purchased a house on K Road in Portsmouth, Virginia. We had purchased a house, a nice house, beautiful house. And I called the bank one morning because it was time for me to pay my mortgage. And I called the bank and just to see what my balance was and everything. And they said you were $17,500 in the red. And I literally lost my mind. I went crazy. I was like, wow, this can't be right. Hung up out again. And they said the same thing. And I just panicked because I saw myself losing the house that we had worked so hard to build, losing the house that we had worked so hard to, get the money together. And me and my wife had just put a lot into this house, and I saw myself losing it. So I just lost my mind. And so I went out in the yard and just began to walk around, and I saw one of my ex-leaders coming down the street. He had never came to my house before. And in my mind, I said, wow, here come the cavalry. Here come the cavalry. And he drove up, and he said, he was just in the neighborhood, just wanted to see how you was doing, see your new home, and is everything all right? And I just lost it. I'm out there blubbering and whimpering and everything. I think he's gonna give me $17,000, but he looked at me and says, "Hey, this too shall pass." Put his car in reverse and drove on out of the yard. And for years, I was upset with him. For years, I was kind of a little like, wow, that's all I got. But it dawned on me here lately that he gave me exactly what I needed. I just needed a word of encouragement. And so I want to do the same thing for you today. I want to give you a word of encouragement. And I want to tell you what he told me that day, that this too shall pass. I don't care how bad it seems right now. I don't care how crazy it seems right now. This too shall pass. All you got to do is just keep on believing in your dream, but keep on believing in your vision, and keep on moving forward. Can I tell you, I went in the house, and because of that word, I went upstairs, got on my knees, and I prayed, and God downloaded a plan in my spirit that day to come out of that thing. I ended up paying off that bill and ended up with money in the bank. And of course, we did not lose the house. So I want to just tell you on the day that this too shall pass. So be encouraged, be encouraged. I thought about on today that you might be like Joseph. The Bible says that because Joseph was loved of his father, and because he was a dreamer, that his brothers hated him. His brothers hated him, and listen at this. They end up throwing him in a pit. And so this is where I believe that a lot of people are at right now. You're in a pit. You're in a pit. You're in a hole, in a pit. But I want to remind you that in many fruits, the seed is called a pit. And so I want to remind you on today that you're not buried. A lot of you feel like you're buried, or you feel like it's over. But can I tell you that it ain't over? As long as you're still breathing, as long as you still have breath in your body, it's not over. And you're not buried, you're just planted. That's awesome, because what I'm saying is you're getting ready to spring up. You're getting ready to bear fruit. And so you got to just keep it together. You got to know that this is just temporary and it's not permanent. And so you just need to start rejoicing right there, wherever you are, because one of the things that I've been thinking about all day today is that it's your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude. So you gotta rejoice. You gotta be happy. You know, I thought about Joseph. He ended up coming out of that pit. He ended up coming out of that pit. He might have went into such a great situation. He was taken out of the pit and sold into slavery. But I thought about this. As you look at the story of Joseph, you never see him complaining. You never see him murmuring. And this is so important, because listen, if you're murmuring, if you're complaining, it's your way of saying you're dissatisfied. Is this your way of having a pity party? Is this your way of saying that you're angry with the way, really, that the Lord has made, that you're dissatisfied with the way that things are going? And murmuring and complaining is literally unbelief. It's unbelief. You know, it's saying that you don't believe there's hope. You don't believe that there's no way. It's really your way of saying that it's over. And I just wanted to drop this in your spirit, that God hates murmuring. God hates complaining. And so I was thinking about the children of Israel, because God brought them out of Egypt to bring them into the promised land. But all they did every time they got in a hard place was murmur and complain and say, you know, why did you bring us out here in the wilderness to die? Why did you bring us out here to this place to die? And when you get to Numbers 14, finally, God says, listen at this. This is what you've been saying. So this is what I'm going to allow to happen. I heard your murmuring. I heard your complaining. And I'm going to allow you to die right here in the wilderness. So I'm saying, if you want your dream to die, keep murmuring. If you want your vision to die, keep murmuring. Keep that nasty attitude. Keep that I'm not satisfied attitude. I'm not grateful attitude. But if you want things to change, you got to be grateful. Yeah, it might not be the way that you thought it would be. It might not be the way that you planned it, but you still here. You still have food on the table. You still have another day to work on your dream, to work on your plan. I thought about years ago, I was staying in a place called Murfreesboro, North Carolina, small town. Wow, we had a nice little house, me and my wife, and we heated by kerosene. And we had this big 300-gallon barrel that was outside of the house. And in order for the oil company to come out, you had to buy at least $100 worth of oil. And it's wintertime, and you know we needed oil, but I didn't have $100. I didn't have enough to buy 100 gallons of oil. I didn't have enough to buy 100 gallons of oil. So, hey, I couldn't call the oil company. I had to take my little 5-gallon can of a gas can and go down to the store and buy $5 worth of gas at the time. And then I had to go outside and stand on the ledge and try to reach over and pull this oil in the can. And you know, it was pretty embarrassing. And the thing that made it real embarrassing was my next door neighbor had the same setup, but he always had the oil company to come out and put oil in his barrel. And when I would be out there, you know, when I would be out there trying to put oil in my barrel, and he would be right out there looking at me. I'll tell you, it was just so embarrassing. But one day I heard a still small voice speaking to my spirit. I heard the Lord said, this is the way that I have made. Rejoice and be glad in it. And it changed my whole attitude. It reminded me that, okay, I might not have 100 gallons of oil in my barrel at one time, but my house is still warm. I might not have 100 gallons of oil in my house at one time, but my children are warm and my wife is happy, and they, we're still eating and nobody's complaining. And I begin to say, wow, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I began to say that this is the way that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. And I'm telling you, your attitude of gratefulness is so important. You might say, why? Because thankfulness and gratefulness makes room for more. It makes room for more. I think about, now I have a thermostat on the wall. I don't have to worry about oil and all of that stuff. I don't have to worry about going outside with a barrel. But I know that this happened because I was grateful way back then. I know that this happened because I was grateful way back then. So I just want to say to somebody on the day, be grateful. Stop murmuring and stop complaining, because when you are murmuring and complaining, it really stops you in your tracks. It really says that you have taken your eyes off the vision, that you've taken your eyes off the promise. You've taken your eyes off of what you believe is going to happen in your future. Even the scripture says, Jesus says, looking at Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and now he sat down at the right hand of the Father. So Jesus didn't take his eyes off the joy that was set before him. And so when we are murmuring and complaining, it's because we've taken our eyes off the joy that's set before us. We've taken our eyes off of the final product, that one day we're going to own the business, that one day we're going to own the car, that one day we're going to own the franchise, that one day we're going to be the head, not the tail. We're going to be above and not beneath. One day we're going to fulfill the dream. We're going to be living in the dream and actually be on top and be on top. So I want to encourage you that no matter what situation you're in today, if it's an adverse situation, it's temporary. This too shall pass. Somebody said it this way: hard times don't last, but tough people do. Tough people last. So you're gonna outlast your storm. You're gonna outlast this difficult time. And this is what happened with Joseph. Joseph outlasted his difficult time. And I believe it's because he kept his heart right. I believe it's because he learned how to not complain. He learned how to just be happy. Somebody said that a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. So you got to find something. You got to keep your eyes on the joy that's set before you. My God, one day I'm going to be living in the house of my dream. One day I'm going to be driving the car of my dream. One day I'm going to be preaching to thousands. My God, you got to keep your eyes on your dream. One day I'm going to be teaching millions of students all around the world. One day I'm going to own the daycare of my dream and have the building of my dream. So you got to keep your eyes on the joy that's set before you. And I believe that's what Joseph did. He kept his eyes on his dream. He kept his eyes on his dream, and he kept right on using his gift. He kept right on using his gifts. So he didn't allow his heart to get hard, so that his gifts wouldn't flow through him, so that he shut his blessing down. But he kept right on using his gifts. He kept right on doing what he was called to do. He went to Potiphar's house and he ended up solving problems there. He kept right on solving problems. So solving problems was one of Joseph's gifts. So he solved the problem in Potiphar's house, and Potiphar's put him in charge of everything. But Potiphar's wife lied on him. But you still don't see him murmuring. You still don't see him complaining. Because of this, they threw him in prison. But even in prison, he ended up over the whole prison. He kept solving problems. And in prison, he met a butler and a baker. He met a butler and a baker. And so I'm saying, wow, if you would keep your heart right, you're going to end up connecting with the right people. You're going to end up connecting with the right people. And then if you use your gift, scripture says that your gift will bring you before great men. And this is exactly what happened with Joseph. His gift ended up bringing him before Pharaoh. And he ended up interpreting Pharaoh's dream. And Joseph went from the pit to the palace. He went all the way from the pit to the palace. He went all the way from being, fugitive. My God, a man that's in prison, for rape, to being the prime minister of the greatest nation in the world. And so I'm saying, you can't let temporary situations stop you from fulfilling your destiny. Come on, say it's just temporary. Come on, say it's just temporary. You might be going through today, but tomorrow, my God, will be a better day. My God, if you hold on just a little while longer, somebody say it's a bad wind that never changed. And you got to know that seasons change. You know, there's 4 seasons in a year. There's summer, winter, spring, and fall. So the season going to change. If you just hold on, so you just got to keep planning for the next season, because you know the season is coming. So you got to keep your heart right, because you know if you hold on, your season is going to change. So I just want to encourage somebody on today. You know, you might be in winter. It might be winter in your life, but it ain't going to stay winter. If you hold on just a few more months, my God, it's going to be summer. My God, it's going to be spring. My God, you know, the weather going to break. So hold on, because your break is going to come. And this is what happened with Joseph. You know, his break came and he was ready. So when your break come, you want to be ready. You want your heart to be ready. You want to be in the right mindset. You want to be happy. My God, you don't want to be angry and miss what is supposed to be yours. So, you know, you got to keep your heart right, and you got to stay in an attitude of gratitude and watch your break come. Your break is on the way. Your big break is on the way. Breakthrough is on the way for you. Breakthrough is on the way for you. So keep your heart right. Keep your mind right. Keep a smile on your face. If there's anything of good report, think on that. If there's anything lovely, think on that. If there's anything of virtue, think on that. Think on good things and watch things work out for you. Wow. Well, listen, I pray that something was said today that will encourage you guys, that will strengthen you. I just wanted to come and tell you to be encouraged. Tell you to be encouraged. You know, I don't care how you're making it right now. You know, it's just one step at a time. It don't seem like things are coming in bunches, but you still here. You know, you still here. You're still alive. You're still making progress. It might be slow right now, but you know, your breakthrough gonna come when it's just gonna come in floods, when it's just gonna come in bunches. So you just gotta keep on, and you just gotta keep on fighting. You just gotta keep on moving forward, knowing that it's just a matter of time before you walk into your promise, before you walk into your destiny. Wow. If you believe that, just write, I believe that, in the comment box somewhere. Amen. And be happy. Be happy. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is going to be all right. Be encouraged, and don't write Ichabod on your life. It's not over. It's not over until God says it's over. All right. Well, until the next time, I'll see you guys next Thursday night at 7 p.m. With another life-changing word to encourage you, to build you up, and to push you towards your destiny. You know, my assignment is to build and empower leaders to fulfill to achieve their dreams, my God, and succeed. And so I want to tell you that you can succeed. You can live your dream life. You can have the best. But listen, you're gonna have to be resilient. You're gonna have to have a mind that I won't quit, my God. And you're gonna have to get rid of that murmuring and complaining spirit. All right. Wow. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.